Hey there, my name is Ria Waller, and I'm an instructor for Fresno City College. And this class, CIT 93, is JavaScript. So thanks for enrolling. I really work to give the student a very fun and learning environment. And what a great time right now to be learning JavaScript. I love JavaScript. And the reason I do is that it just, for me, kind of makes sense. When I code in JavaScript, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't seem like, and it isn't, the barriers to learn JavaScript are really low. Obviously, with any programming language, the more you learn something, the more in depth you become, the more involved the code becomes. But it is a wonderful time to start learning JavaScript. And so thank you for enrolling in this class. I know you have options and I appreciate you being here. What I'd like to do in this first video is really just welcome you into the class, give you an overview, tell you what you can do between now. And when I say now, I'm actually recording this the Friday before Christmas. So we've ended the fall 2019 semester, getting ready to go into winter break. And we'll start in January 13th for this class officially. But I always like to release the courses before the start of the semester to give students the ability to look at what's coming at them, the ability to actually work ahead a little bit if you want to, not required, and just to know the layout of this course. So I find it's helpful. Students tell me that it's helpful to have this available. So what I have is I actually have the course laid out. I know what generally we're going to cover. I will generate content each week, but here's how this is going to roll. I have been using for the last 3 years pretty much as an alternative, I think a very good one, to textbooks is I use Udemy courses. And I really like them because they're relevant, they're done on best practices from people who do this every day. The content is well created. And so what you do in this class is you basically have 3 parts of this class each week. And you can see, and I'm actually setting with my screen inside of Canvas right now. And you can see as we scroll through, week 0 is before the start of the semester. This video will be loaded right here. And then you can get into class chat. That's a way that you can communicate in real time with not just me, but with your classmates as well. And then week 1, believe it or not, and this may seem a little weird, but just know that there's a reason. There's actually something due on the first night of the semester, and it's your first lecture. Now, because I use something called GitHub, one of the first things you're going to need to do is either create your GitHub account, or if you already have one, just tell me what that is. So I'm just going to, and by the way, all this instruction is in your week 1 lecture. But if you want to, by the way, let me just say it this way. You can't do week 1 lecture without giving me that GitHub username, because I place you in what's called our organization, our GitHub organization. So really important part of understanding that you need that in order to do this week 1 lecture. So that's, and by the way, here's GitHub, right? So in this case, this is just, don't worry about this, but you'll just need to sign up. Now, do know that I've had students in the past say that, do you have to get a paid account? The answer is absolutely not. GitHub is now owned by Microsoft, and it is not required that you get a paid account. Please make sure you select a free account. That is just, and once you set that up, then email me whatever username you create. It won't be your email, and you can use whichever email you want there. So I'm just saying, right? That's kind of step 1, is you need to set that up. Let me know what that is, and then I will include you. And in week 1 here, I go over what you need to do to set up what's called your repos. And repos are just another way. Well, I don't want to say it's a folder or a directory because it's much more involved, but it'll feel like that. So that's that part. So what course am I going to use with Udemy? So let's actually do this. And this is a good thing to look at, is if you click into the syllabus, you will see that I have the overview of the course, which is good. And then I have all of the assignments that we will have for the weeks, which I think is helpful. This has a breakdown of the percentage of these. So what I've been talking about so far is the lectures. And so you can see here that lectures account for 25% of your grade. Learn Togethers, which is also a weekly activity, is 25%. And then 3 times this semester, you will have an actual project where you take the concepts that we're learning and you will actually build something on your own. Of course, that doesn't mean you can't get help. I definitely recommend you get help if you need it. But you might think now, if you're developing something, you have to do what's called a code review. So 3 times a semester, and matter of fact, let me just scroll through here. We can come back and look at some of this in a minute, but I actually have these scheduled. So you can see where in this spring 2020 semester this lies. Your Dev 0, which is your first one, your second one, and then your last one. Okay, so I start with 0 because indexing 0 index. You'll get, if you don't get that, you'll get it later, what that means, right? So this is the schedule for this semester. These are the lectures we're going to cover. Each week we have a learn together that we do, except on the weeks that we have an actual develop it, okay? And then of course there's a spring break in there as well. So the other thing, and I'll scroll up to show you this, is the course I'm using. And oh, by the way, let me just say, since we're scrolling through here, I'm actually at the Bitwise Hive because I actually teach a class there Wednesday nights, and that class is React. I recommend not taking React until you've taken JavaScript, because in order to do React, and if you don't know what React is, don't worry about it, but it is a front-end framework. So, but the important thing for you to know is that my office hours on Monday and Wednesday are actually out at the Hive, and this gives you some information about how to get there if you want to come see me. So the other thing is, where is my course listing for? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here is the Udemy course that we're going to be using. I already have it open. This course is really great. It's been redone in 2019 for modern JavaScript. The instructor is Andrew Mead. He's awesome. I put $15 here, but the truth is this will vary. And part of the other reason I like to actually provide the course before the start of the semester is, one of the recommendations I'm going to have for you is, if you don't have, and I'm going to click over into Udemy here because here's the course, but if you don't have a Udemy account, go ahead and set one up. As a matter of fact, if you get this before the end of the year, I suspect they're also going to be running specials because they're running them all the time. And so what happens is the price that they list, if you're just looking at Udemy from the general web perspective, will be higher generally than once you create the account. So create the account and then see what it is. But I've had students get this course as low as $10. Again, it depends on the specials that they're running. I suspect they'll be running an end of year special as well, you know, kind of that end of year blowout. But my point of this back here is, go ahead and get your Udemy account as soon as you can. I think you'll pay no more than $15 for this course, which I think is a bargain, by the way. And then just know that we're going to cover up to section 11, which is kind of interesting because you will still have some content you can consume in this class. And it is a really wonderfully laid out course. It is very popular. As a matter of fact, one of the most popular on Udemy itself. You can actually search to see how many. Last time I looked, at least 50,000 people had taken this course. So that's good to know. All right, so that's my other suggestion here, is like telling you here's what's required. And so to go back to the course listings, and let me just bring me back here for a second. So this first item due, I know, the first day of the semester, is you also need to have this Udemy course, okay? Because you're going to work through section 1 and 2 for this. It's not really any coding until the very end. And it's very light. It's really just showing you how, walking you through the setup of just, he talks about computer setup. He talks about why it's a great time to learn JavaScript, which I've already kind of told you to get more information from him about that. But Again, you'll need to have both your Udemy course set up. Let me know what that is so I can include you in our course organization and get the sorry, did I confuse that? But get your GitHub account set up. Let me know what that is. Get the Udemy course so you can work through this. Okay? So that's why I'm actually releasing this early, to give you all that heads up. So the last thing I'm going to say, well, let me make it the last thing I'm going to say, is that these three, I know this is an online course, and you may hear me say, well, you have to do a code review those 3 times a semester. And I'll talk more a bit about this as we move into the semester and give you examples of what I've created, what other students may have created. But here's the deal. Even if you're not in Fresno, if you're somewhere else, I offer the ability to do these code reviews both online, and I use Google Hangouts. Actually, that's what you, when you join class chat, that's what that is. And you could do them in person. So it's really up to you and where you, based on your schedule and all those things. But I will put out a schedule of when you can sign up for those code reviews, and I will have them at least 2 weeks before the start of the semester. So if you happen to start, know that I have actually laid out all the lectures that we're going to do. And then the Learn Togethers are the stuff we do each week based on the content that we're covering. So I'll try to, by the time the semester starts, have at least, I know I'll have 1, possibly 2 weeks of that done. Because the thing with anything is true, if you can work ahead, do. That's always great, because it's so much better to work ahead than work behind. So thank you for choosing this course. Let's learn JavaScript, because it's just fun to learn, and it's a great time to learn it. And I'm excited that you're here, and I appreciate your time and your attention. And let me know if you have any questions. Peace out.